So, Mark, did you see that 1995 ad for Circus Circus? The Adventure Dome is new and fresh. And of course, they have the Pink Pony Cafe still. And it's even shown in this video. Man, this was good to see.
Yeah, I'm sold. I thought this was a great ad, and it makes it look like an amazing property. And back in the 90s, it was probably considered an amazing property and something unique. The food looked really good. Everything. They didn't show Slots of Fun, though. Was it around then?
Yeah, of course it was around then, but the pink ponies, Mark. Let's go back. Let's go back and focus on the pink ponies.
All that matters is Slots of Fun all the time.
So imagine you're a Vegas influencer walking through the casino and somebody walks up to give you a gift. Scott Robin, Vital Vegas, shared this. Somebody walked up at Oscar Steakhouse and handed him a casino chip from the movie Casino, a promotional chip from the movie Casino. I'm not sure that there's anything cooler in the world than that.
We got some cool gifts this weekend too. I'm wearing one right now. I know we got some sentimental dice, me for Hooters, which is awesome, you for Tropicana, and then a book called Xavier Marks, which is a treasure hunt book that my kids are pretty excited about. They're going to try to make some money this summer. $13,000 up for grabs.
We love the gifts. We got to meet some Patreon subscribers this weekend. That was a lot of fun. You don't have to give us gifts if you meet us, but it's always nice to see that stuff. And yeah, the dice, the hat, I mean, your hat there, all really cool.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if anybody can figure out what it is. We were not, me or Sean were not able to guess what the hat stands for. It is Vegas related, so I'm curious to see in the comments if anybody can come up with it. But I thought it was cool that it was at Oscars that he got the casino chip. It just kind of fits in perfectly with that. That's kind of unique and unexpected. I wonder if he's just walking around with a chip in his pocket in case he ever runs into him.
Yeah, I don't know. Or does he? I mean, I wonder what those chips are worth. Like, I'm sure that we know there's chip collectors. I didn't look it up, but as a Vegas person, I just know so many people love that movie. And I know for me, that would be something, I bet it's worth a decent amount of money.
Here's Sean asking for somebody to give him a casino chip.
No. You don't need to send me anything. But you know what? We need to update on the Wynn story from last show, because it wasn't just the day one employees that they gave money to. So they gave day one employees $10,000 in stock, but also basically everybody. So if you were under 1 year, you got $1,000. 1 to 4 years, $1,500, and then it sort of went up from there. And I can show you what it looked like. So they did even better, even nicer than we thought, which is pretty cool. And it doesn't invest for a year, but that's pretty fair.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you could get a string of chandelier, or after like 50 years, or you can get $1,000 for working there for a couple of days. I don't know which one's better, but no, this is impressive by them. Really cool. They must have had a good year last year if they're willing to do this, and it's good that it's vesting later, right? You know, they're going to get more stock than they would have a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy to get a stock gift and then have it go down by quite a bit, as Wynn is currently trading right around its 52-week low. But yeah, it is what it is. There is some construction updates. This one from Vital Vegas over at Ellis Island. The orange siding, I don't know. So it's starting to come along on the outside. We're probably 6-9 months away. I don't know how. It's hard to tell. They've been building this thing so slowly, but it's good to see that most of the building is up now.
I don't know. It's just the outside of a building, but yeah, it's cool to see.
No, the building itself isn't cool to see. I'll show the concept art. I'm saying it's good to see that, like, because they've been teasing this expansion, and then they started moving dirt. I feel like 2 years. I don't know. It feels like it's just been forever. So yeah, it's good to see that, like, the building is taking shape, and we might see, we might get this thing online this year. That's more what it is. I agree. It's just orange siding. And here's another one, Bottled Blonde, coming on. It's going to be opening in the next few months, and it is looking almost done, kind of completing that transformation of blocking the Grand Bazaar shops.
Yeah, it's really big. It feels just like Blake Shelton's one, similar type build, similar type look, which I think that's the point, like 2 end caps to it. But yeah, I am excited for Ellis Island. We back up there for a second. Everything they've done over the last decade or so when they've added new areas and stuff has been top notch and really cool. So I'm excited to see this when it's all done too.
We should give ourselves credit for breaking news that we covered this before the media did, but the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, it's so funny how if you actually follow stories closely, they will announce things or say things in interviews, but then weeks later, you'll get this big press release, and then all of the media covers it. And that's sort of what happened with The Wizard of Oz, because they had already confirmed this. It's going to open August 28th. That is new information. and it's going to be about 80 minutes long. And we already talked about how tickets are going to be crazy. But the other thing that we learned is they have another movie that they're developing called From the Edge. And I do not understand how they think they're going to sell tickets to this. A collection of scenes featuring extreme athletes. Is this something that people are going to pay? I mean, I'm really not trying to trash this. It just doesn't seem like something I would go pay $80, $100 to go see in the Sphere.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna pat ourselves on the back for this, should we say we're batting 500 with Harry Styles?
No, that wasn't our fault.
Johnny Katz, you suck. Just kidding. I don't know you, Johnny. I don't think you suck. Yeah, when I first saw the sports thing, I was like, okay, what is it, like the Crave channel or stuff that they show in Buffalo Wild Wings that has all the cool jumps and things? So maybe it's like that, and it would be unique seeing it in this big Sphere. But if they're charging $80 to $100, I'm not going to pay that. But if it's 30, 40, maybe it'd be something really cool and unique to see. I just don't, I don't know. It's a weird choice, but I could see it maybe working. So I'll be curious to see the feedback on that. But Wizard of Oz, I would love to see, but I'm never paying $120 to do it. That's just insane to me.
I was saying I don't think I would pay that, but I don't know. Like the more I've been thinking about it, I might have to go see the Wizard.
Need to get it on the tickets for less. Like, let's get those 50% off tickets.
Yeah, I might actually have to ask them for media tickets for the first time. So Lake Las Vegas, you finally got to experience the majesty of Lake Las Vegas. We got to drink some beers by the lake and walk around. You got to see the village. Drove you all around there. We got to see the island, the amazing island.
It's not. It's a peninsula. I don't know why they keep calling it an island. It's a peninsula.
But what were your thoughts on the village? The real important thing. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, we were there Friday early afternoon, so it wasn't very busy. The restaurants were just starting to open, and the Hilton was a little bit weird. I was expecting something a bit different. Didn't feel as welcoming as I wanted, or the pool I think should have been in the back overlooking the lake, and it's up in the front on the side. It's just kind of a weird design there. But I think once you're into the village area, very cool. Lots of little restaurants. You even said there's more shops open than there were the last time you were in there. So it's starting to fill out. They're building the houses again. I think it'd be a good place to live, a little bit more quiet. I don't understand why that casino's not open. I would think that would draw more people in. You would think the Hilton would want it open. Then people would stay there to gamble and everything. It just seems like it wouldn't be that much to run, and it's smaller. I would give it another try. So if they got that really rolling, I think it'd be a destination again like it was when it first opened, like you were saying. But it's a really unique area, something you don't really see anywhere else in Vegas. I do wish that they would take advantage of the waterfront a bit more, have like a tiki bar out there or some type of bar right up on the water, restaurant, any type of thing like that. But you can do boats, paddle boats, all these different things. So it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, it's pretty. And I agree with you that having a restaurant or like a bar out over the water would be cool, like right on the water, because most of them are there's
turn that floating barge into one,
yeah. So it is neat out there. I was surprised you really didn't like the Hilton for some reason. I was a little surprised by that. It's not anything too fancy, and it hasn't been that level of a hotel in a long time. But I like the village out there. It was very quiet, though. And I think on the weekends it gets busier. But I remember back in the day when it opened, when the Casino Montelago was open and all the shops were open and it was vibrant. Not quite there, but it's still a beautiful place. And all the Italian architecture, with the exception of they're building these brand new like 2025 modern super crazy houses next to all this Italian architecture. I really wish they hadn't let the builders do that.
I didn't like that at all. And they had the best land of anybody, like right by, you could walk into the village, and it's also right on the water, beautiful views. And that's like the thing you have to see, where you want to look at like the Tuscany type homes. I think the Hilton, my problem with the Hilton, I just expected it to be more resorty, and it felt like they were leaning on the village more. Like when you go down to the Westin, you see that set up, and it just feels more what I expected out of the Hilton. I don't know, like that back area, just it's more for weddings. Doesn't seem like it's really used or beneficial for guests there. And I think that could have been done better. Should have been the pool area, a little bit of a bar area there, overlooking the water. I just think they missed it there, where the Westin got it right. But the golf courses looked amazing. There's people out there golfing, really cool, a lot of water features. It just looked like a good design, and I would stay out there for a weekend, golf, hang out. I'm hoping that it gets pretty lively at night in the village.
So moving on, one of the big Vegas casino owners passed away, David Siegel, owner of Westgate Resorts, I believe the largest timeshare company in the country, or privately owned timeshare company in the country, but also the Westgate, the former Las Vegas Hilton. He was 89. I think he's most famous to me because of that documentary that came out 10, 15 years ago, The Queen of Versailles. I don't know if you ever saw that, about them building their mansion in Orlando. That was sort of a crazy documentary. I think his wife tried to relaunch that show recently as a reality show, but he was 89, and he came to the Vegas scene a little bit later, especially as a casino owner, but certainly made his mark here.
Yeah, sad to see. I do remember the show. I never watched the show, but I remember that people talking about it and how crazy it was. And I've always enjoyed the Westgate. I know a lot of it was there before him, but I love the Benihana setup and I love the sports book. So at least he didn't mess up a good thing. I guess that's what he's got going for him. I don't know. It's an underrated place, kind of the last thing people think about or don't consider it as much as a front runner. But I think it is a really good property. It has a lot going for it. So even if you don't know him for that, I give him respect for that.
Yeah, rest in peace. I mean, Queen of Versailles is a crazy documentary. They were filming it kind of at the boom in 06 and 07, the real estate boom, and kind of documenting building their house, which was going to be the largest house in the U.S. It was modeled after the Palace of Versailles. And in the middle of filming this was the Great Recession. So so you basically, it actually turned in, the actual movie was incredibly depressing as you watch them almost lose their fortune. And he managed to come back, but he lost a lot in that. So it's a interesting thing. They're known for their really aggressive timeshare pitches. I don't know if Westgate's the best company, but he certainly made his mark here in Vegas. Rest in peace. As a reminder, we have our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to our weekly after show. Lots of fun behind the channel talking about our escapades in Vegas. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas for all the information. And thanks to everybody who supports us over there. We love our patrons. Goat Balls, Goat Ball Gate. Is that what's going on here? I thought you loved Mrs. Vanderpump.
I mean, if you can't say that we're objective, this is the story that will prove that point. But yeah, I love it. We went to Pinky's on Thursday night before I met up with you on Friday, and beautiful restaurant, just like you said when you walked through it. It's just, and I love that each design is a little bit different. Nothing that's the same. Like, you don't feel like you're in the same environment as you are in either of the other two locations in Vegas. But of course, I love the goat cheese balls, and we got them when we went to the Caesars location, which is smaller, and it was the first one, the original one. And I don't remember feeling like it was a ripoff. It was expensive, yes, but I feel like we got like 10 goat cheese balls for around $15. I know this was 5-6 years ago or whenever that opened, but the kitchen was closing. I was like, oh, can I just get an order of these? I want my buddy to try them, who was there. She brings it out, sets it down. I was like, you kidding me? Like five little balls for $23? I think it's worse than the nachos almost.
So we got exactly 5 goat cheese balls when we were at Caesar's Palace, but it was like $14 or $15. I don't think I have a picture of the menu at the time, but yeah, I'm going to be showing video. I'm throwing it up here. 5 goat cheese balls.
Oh, well, then the price just went up. I don't remember it being that. I think that would have stood out to us if it was that bad. So it must have just been a lower price. But yeah, I mean, if you have a table of 4 people, everybody gets 1 ball, and then you got to fight over the last one and bring out the plastic knife. Let's cut it into fourths.
They are good, though. I will say, shout out to her goat cheese balls. They're good. They're tasty.
I mean, but goat cheese isn't that expensive. I just don't get it. It's kind of crazy. The drinks were expensive too, which I don't mind. They were really well done. Everything we had was good. The service was amazing. Our waitress was really great. It wasn't overly busy. I know it was Thursday night, and it was like 9:30 by the time I got there. So it was after dinner rush or anything like that, but it was 30-40% full, but just a beautiful space. And I had a reservation thinking it would be like overly packed, but maybe you can dip in there like in the evening and get a spot if you didn't grab a reservation or anything. But those seats up by the windows overlooking Las Vegas Boulevard is pretty cool. If I was going on a date or something, I'd try to get one of those.
So I wanted to discuss this with you. This is something I actually come up on all the time because I'm writing titles and thumbnails and all this stuff about how to say Vegases. And Vital Vegas was debating this online. I guess that theoretically you could write it both ways depending on which version of proper English you're using. I always put it with the apostrophe after the S because it's just shorter. I don't know what with this very
That's what I would
topic.
Do. Yeah. I would just do Vegas apostrophe. That's it. That's how you do it with all other things that end in Nessa. I don't know why you would do it differently here. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to. That's how you were supposed to. But then through this thread, I found out that the Vegas is the with the apostrophe S, that the extra S is legal too. So there you go. A huge debate. There you go. I'm going to stick with my original way of doing it. Also, a follow-up on our last show, Flamingo, as predicted, they finally acknowledged that their pool isn't opening, and now it looks like May 16th is the date on their website. And we do have an updated picture to show you guys of what it looks like now. So it does look like it's still about a month away, which last week they could have told us that, but they didn't want to.
Yeah, and I walked by all the other new restaurants. I hadn't seen Havana 1957 all done yet. So that was cool to see. They had the setup for the band, but there's nobody playing. I don't even know if they do it on Thursday nights, but I would love to sit on that little bar that's on the walkway and have a drink and listen to the band. And it's such a cool environment. And everything they've added there is great. I'm excited to see what the pool looks like. I think they've done really well with that. And yeah, I mean, those might be like the 3 best restaurants in the Caesars properties now, or 3 of the coolest ones.
Yeah, I really love the theme that they're going for. I mean, like you say, the whole property doesn't really measure up to that. And we still have some new stuff with the old Margaritaville. So some other new stuff coming, even though we don't really know what's going in there. But there's still parts where you're like, oh, this is the old Flamingo. It's cramped. But then you go to these venues. I agree. They really, just the design aesthetic, the old mob aesthetic. I mean, Pinky's is its own thing, but they nailed that. But Havana 1957 and Bugsy and Myers, I really love. I wish the whole casino was that aesthetic.
Yeah, it's weird when you walk into Pinky's and you're like, oh, wow, this is nice. And then you look out towards the front and you can see the Flamingo floor and you're like, this should not be here.
Yeah, it's kind of well, now it'll be close like to the Vanderpump Hotel, so maybe they can, it'll all work together. Another follow-up, another story, I should pat myself on the back. I went to Cadence Crossing last week and I showed you guys footage of the construction. Well, this week they officially broke ground, and then they did the whole thing for the media, and then everybody was covering it, but you guys already saw what it looked like last week. But they did actually release concept art finally, and we know what it looks like. I have no idea. It does not look any nicer than Joker's Wild on the inside. It just looks very ho-hum. And I'm really comparing this to like the new Wildfire that Stations built on Fremont. I think that is a better product. I don't know. I was very underwhelmed seeing this concept art. I just don't understand why they didn't just renovate Joker's Wild and maybe make it a little bigger. This doesn't seem like high end, or it just seems very pedestrian.
Yeah, I thought it was like a nice looking locals casino. Nothing great, but nothing bad. I hadn't been inside of Joker's Wild, so I don't know how that compares. But it did seem weird that they're building it like butting up right to the back end of the current site. And we drove by it on Friday, and you see all this land, and you're like, "What? Yeah, why wouldn't you just remodel? You think it'd be cheaper just to like update the inside of the other one? And if you're saying it's not even that much better concept art wise compared to what it is inside there now, this just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the building for Joker's Wild has seen better, maybe it wasn't built for that. It's falling apart. Who knows what it is? Joker's Wild, though, I pointed this out to you as we drove by. It has this giant porte-cochere, which is amazing. It's this tiny property. So it I don't know. I always thought it was funny that it had this big kind of entrance for a tiny property. And as you said, they're building it right back. Glad to see some stuff. And that will probably be the next new casino to open in Vegas.
I'm just glad that we get to see somebody correct how you say that down below.
Porte-cochere. So Brewdog, we finally got to go to Brewdog. I really have no excuse for why I haven't been to Brewdog. I've been by there a bunch, but I'm kind of happy that I got to experience it for the first time with you, because you are my rooftop bar expert in my life. So, getting to experience it with you, it's a huge space. We got to meet some Patreon subscribers there, as we talked about at the beginning of the show. Nice time. Before we get into everything, they do have 25% off for locals that they say, and then you can get $1 beer if you go to their website and you're a local and then you bring it there. I asked the server about it. He told me I had to go to the hostess, and then we got to talking to people and I completely forgot about it. So if you are a local, though, and going to Brewdogs, you can get 25% off, and you should do that. Just ask the host for your card. I still don't have mine, but yeah, good times. Prices aren't cheap, but they had a great selection. The outdoor space is big and beautiful, and the indoor space looked good. I mean, it was mostly empty, though.
Yeah, the first floor has a shuffleboard and all of that stuff. So some games. I think it had some like pinball games too. So kind of a more hangout, play bar games type of spot. But like we said, we went there earlier. It was pretty empty. Everybody was up on the rooftop. Even like the inside of the rooftop area wasn't very busy, but the outside was pretty packed. It was a beautiful day. I will say, like in the summer, I would not go out there from when they open at 11 until like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. whenever the sun starts to set or goes down, maybe like 7 p.m. But it would just be brutal. It was pretty hot when we were there. It was only in the mid 70s, but the sun was just like beating on you and you could feel it. And that's my one takeaway. I would say, I guess you could sit at the bar area, that's shaded. But if you're at the tables, maybe they bring out umbrellas. I did see like one umbrella out there, a big one, but it wasn't over any tables. I don't know. Maybe they get closer to summer, they start putting them over tables. I think that would help a lot. But it's such a cool area. Prices aren't terrible. I think like $12 for a beer, high end, but it's craft beer. And if you're getting the 25% off as a local, that pushes it down more towards what you would pay at a local bar. So I think I would go check it out. I mean, the pain in the butt is getting to the strip and parking, but I would check it out and hang out there if I was a local, watch some games.
Yeah, I also read on their website, I don't know what the parking situation is as far as like the maximum over there at the Showcase Mall, but if you locals, again, with this local card that they give you that I didn't get, if you spend $50 or more, then you get validation for up to $15 for parking at the Showcase Mall, and that's according to their website. I haven't tried that, but that is a way for people to go down there and do it. I parked at Park MGM and got 3 hours free. I just walked over there, and that's really not bad. I mean, you basically walk through Park MGM, but the bridge is right there outside Italy, and then you're right there at Brewdog. So I thought that worked out great, but it was nice out there. I agree with you. It did get a little warm. The seats, the bench seating was a little weird, like we were falling off of them or like it tilted down, but service was good. Good selection of beer. Some unique non-alcoholic beers too, which for those who are like me, like to drink that, then yeah, good times all around and good conversation. And I think that it's a place. And so here's the big thing to end this. The big way to end this show, Mark and I are debating whether the sign from the Boulevard Mall right next door, the big new Marquee, affects the view too much. I think it's not as bad as I thought, and he thinks it's terrible.
Yeah, well, once the guitar is up, that will be all you'll look at, and it'll be fine. But it definitely takes a big chunk out of it. It all depends what your angle is, where you're sitting. But if you're at the wrong spot, it takes like a good 30-40% of the strip view, like gonzo. And it's an annoying sign. I mean, it's the same sign as everybody else has, and they had stupid stuff up on it. When I took the picture, it was like the same word 10 times. I'm like, what is this here for? This is dumb.
Hey, they're still getting things going. The overlook area looks very nice, and I think it's going to be a hit there. But yeah, it kind of blocks, I guess, the view of Crystal's Mall when you're on the Brewdog rooftop. Kind of, I guess it depends on where you're at, but yeah, it's not a big deal. Things are happening, and we have more to talk about on the next show from Mark's time in Vegas, including the Hoover Dam Lodge. We really had a great time there, and people should go out there trying to play pachinko. So we'll let you guys know if we succeeded on the next show. We're also going to talk about your Capital One lounge experience, and I know you have a shout out for some great service there.
Yeah, I was hanging out at the bar and got to talking to Kelly, the bartender, and her co-worker, which I didn't grab his name, but she wanted me to tell Curtis that she loves you. And I guess he watches the show, which I thought was pretty cool. But we'll talk about that more and the experience in there next episode. A lot of fun.
And thanks again to our Patreon subscribers who came out to meet us too. That was an incredible afternoon of conversation. Let us know what you guys think about anything we discussed. The casino chip, is that the coolest thing ever? Well, not as cool as Mark's hat or my Tropicana dice. The Hooters dice, they're pretty cool too, but it's Hooters. So let us know in the comments about anything we talked about. What do you think? We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple days with another show. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you're not. Help us grow. Talk to you next time.
Have a good week, everybody. Johnny Katz, you suck. Okay.
Just imagine somebody sends him that if I leave it in the show and somebody sends it.
Yeah, you gotta put it in. You gotta put it in.
All right, I will. I'll leave it.
Just kidding. I don't know you, Johnny.